good afternoon, or good evening, my beautiful hot messes. My name is Mistress Lavender, and today I'm reading The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene. I'm on page 155 on chapter 18, Stir Up the Transgressive and Taboo. Before we begin, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn your post notifications on. Let's start. There are always social limits on what one can do. Some of these, the most elemental taboos, go back centuries. Others are more superficial, simply define polite and acceptable behavior. Making your targets feel that you are leading them past either kind of limit is immensely seductive. People yearn to explore their dark side. Not everything in romantic love is supposed to be tender and soft. Hint that you have a cruel, even sadistic streak. You do not respect age differences, marriage vows, family ties. Once the desire to transgress draws your targets to you, it will be hard for them to stop. Take them further than they imagine. The shared feeling of guilt and complexity will create a powerful bond. Keys to seduction. Society and culture are based on limits. This kind of behavior is acceptable. That is not. This kind of behavior is acceptable. That is not. Okay. The limits are fluid and change with time, but they are always limits. The alternative is anarchy, the lawlessness of nature, which we dread, but we are strange animals. The moment any kind of limit is imposed, physically or psychologically, we are instantly curious. A part of us wants to go beyond that limit, to explore what is forbidden. If as children we are told not to go past a certain point in the woods, that is precisely where we want to go. But we grow older and become polite and deferential. More and more boundaries encumber our lives. Do not confuse politeness with happiness. However, it covers up frustration, unwanted compromise. How can we explore the shadow side of our personality without incurring punishment or ostracism? It seeps out of our dreams. We sometimes wake up with a sense of guilt at the murder, incest, adultery, and mayhem that goes on in our dreams, until we realize no one needs to know about it but ourselves. But give a person the sense that with you they will have a chance to explore the outer reaches of acceptable, polite behavior, that with you they can vent some of their closet personality, and you create the ingredients for a deep and powerful seduction. You will have to go beyond the point of merely teasing them with an elusive fantasy. The shock and seductive power will come from the reality of what you are offering them. If they have followed you merely out of curiosity, they may feel some fear and hesitation. But once they are hooked, they will find you hard to resist, for it is hard to return to a limit once you have transgressed and gone past it. The moment people feel that something is prohibited, a part of them will want it. That is what makes a married man or woman such a delicious target. The more someone is prohibited, the greater the desire. Since what is forbidden is desired, somehow you must make yourself seem forbidden. The most blatant way to do this is to engage in behavior that gives you a dark and forbidden aura. Theoretically, you are someone to avoid. In fact, you are too seductive to resist. Play up your dark side and you will have a similar effect. For your targets to be involved with you means going beyond their limits, doing something naughty and unacceptable to society, to their peers. For many, that is a reason to bite the bait. The great 18th century rake, the Duc de Richelieu, had a predilection for young girls, and often he would heighten the seduction by eloping them in transgressive behavior, to which the young are particularly susceptible. He would try to turn the young girls against their parents, ridicule their religious zest or prudery or purist behavior. The Duke's strategy was to attack the values that his targets held dearest, precisely the values that represent a limit. In a young person, family ties, religious ties, and the like are useful to the seducer. Young people barely need a reason to rebel against them. The strategy, though, can be applied to a person of any age. For every deeply held value, there is a shadow side, a doubt, a desire to explore what those values forbid. Love is supposed to be tender and delicate, but it in fact can release violent and destructive emotions and the possible violence of love. The way it breaks down our normal reasonableness is just what attracts us. Approach of romance's violent side of mixing a cruel streak into your tender attentiveness, particularly in the latter stages of a seduction. When the target is in your clutches, a masochistic involvement can represent a great transgressive release. The more illicit your seduction feels, the more power it affects. Give your targets the feeling that they're committing a kind of crime, a deed whose guilt they share with you. Create public moments in which the two of you know something that those around you do not. It could be phrases and looks that only you recognize, a secret. It is critical to play on tensions like this in public, creating a sense of complexity and collusion against the world. People may be straining to remove restrictions on private behavior to make everything freer in the world today, but that only makes seduction more difficult and less exciting. Do what you can to reintroduce a feeling of transaction and crime, even if it is only psychological or illusionary. There must be obstacles to overcome, social norms to flout, laws to break before the seduction can be